Hey there, it's Brandon from Be Loves the Love, and it's another Car Chronicles where I'm sitting in my car waiting for my son to get done with his soccer practice. There's still snow on the ground here. It's not as cold as it has been. I'm wearing a sweater, long sleeves and a sweater, and it's fine, but I'm also not out and about in the cold, not for real. But I hope the beginning of your year reading is going well. I finished the Beverly Jenkins book just a couple days ago, and it was good. I'm glad. I wasn't ever going to not stick with it, but the way those books tend to go is it's a little slow, and then it really kicks in, and you've got to hold on tight because things happen, in pretty quick succession. But I enjoyed it. I'm now reading another book. I think I told you how I share my Kindle list, not my Kindle, the items that I bought, maybe it's Kindle list, with a friend of mine, and she buys a lot of books, which I am forever grateful for, because I find that I am about to buy a book, or I am interested in a book, and then I will get the notification that it's already in my queue. So I'm like, well, this is awesome, and I can just read it. And I hope I do the same for her with some of the books that I have, but I can never tell if she reads mine. I don't know if she knows if I've read hers. I've never asked. It's just nice to go in the queue, and you can just look to see, okay, well, what book can I download today? Anywho, she has a book. This is another, it's male, female, and it's an age gap romance. And I didn't think this was my cup of tea. I know we've talked about in the past, like particular genres that people are interested in. And I won't say I'm interested in it. I won't say I'm not. It's just not one that I would typically seek out. But again, because it's in my queue and it was short and I wanted to, get back into the rhythm of reading books like every 2 to 3 days versus the Beverly Jenkins ones took me about a couple weeks. Again, it was over the holidays. There was a lot of other things going on than just me being able to read. But it's fine. It's fine. It's an easy read. It doesn't require any thought. It will probably be a 3 out of 5 star. I don't expect anything serious or momentous to come of it. It's a perfectly fine book. It's the type of book that if you want to just read for the sake of reading and not have to think too hard, then this is the kind of book for that. Like, I will finish this book. I started it yesterday. I will finish it. I didn't have a lot of time to do any reading today. I will finish it tomorrow. Like, I will be done and then on to the next book. So I'm hoping that by the end of January, I will have finished, I'd say 4 books, to be generous with myself. I think I have 4 books in me. So counting the one that I finished, the one that I'm reading now, I have another 2 in me that I can get done. Maybe 3, depending on the book. I have some books that I downloaded that were Christmas related that I didn't get to at the end of the year, that I'm going to focus on getting those done before the end of January. And then because what do? We buy books, even though we have literally thousands of books in our purchased and to be read pile. I bought another book today that I got sucked in by the cover and the premise, and I don't remember the name of it, but I'll touch on it when I finally get to it. I think I'm gonna make that I think that will be one of my February reads. So February, Valentine's Day is not a holiday that I celebrate. It's not a holiday that I particularly care for. I celebrate it only for my kids. I was telling a friend this about how I hate Valentine's Day, and I'm convinced that my husband married me because I told him I don't care about Valentine's Day. It's not a holiday that we need to celebrate. You do not have to stress out if I don't get anything. I'm perfectly fine. We actually got married a couple days, like some days later in February. So I'm like, you don't need to do both. Just don't. But I do things because my kids enjoy it. And I was telling a friend that I do little things for them, especially for my girls, because I don't want them getting in a relationship with some crusty, dusty boy, girl, them whatever and being impressed by the little bitty things that they do. No, they can say, you know, my mom, my dad, they did this. So you coming around with some, you know, old roses is not impressive. So I do things for that, just to set like a level, to be like, you know, you can't be basic with my kids. I'm not going to allow it, and they're not used to it. So, I mean, some of the entitlement that my kids have, like, I understand it because they are entitled because I allow certain things to happen. But then other times I'm like, okay, this will serve you well because you are not going to allow anyone to treat you any kind of way. You're not going to go just on any kind of vacation because this is not what you do. And so I've created these children that are now used to luxury and don't know how to function when they don't have it. So I guess it's good and it's bad. Anyway, back to romance. So yes, I have some idea of books that I think I want to focus on in February. I typically do mainly Black writers, but again, I consistently read Black authors throughout the year, but I make a particular point to read new to me Black authors. And so I will continue to do that in the month of February, just to kind of highlight some authors that I don't know, highlight the ones that I actually like, because like with any authors, some ones you vibe with and others you're like, I don't think I could ever read another book by this person. Or you may just find an author and there's certain genres that you like of theirs that are others. Like for Beverly Jenkins, she writes historical, she writes contemporaries. You may feel more in line with her historicals and then can't do her contemporaries, which is fine. She's a great writer. You will find books within whatever certain category that you need outside of fantasy. But yes, and I may even delve into some non-romance. Octavia Butler is my girl. I love her writing. Parable of the Sower, I reread every year. It's become more prophetic as we've gotten to the time where she was actually writing about. She wrote it in the 80s, but wrote it on her vision of what 2025 would look like 2020s. And if you read it, it is one, prophetic, as I said, and two, low-key depressing, because some of the things that she writes are so true that it doesn't make sense that someone could write it now. Like, it doesn't make sense that she could have seen in the 80s how our world, our political climate, and all of those things have come undone. But she wrote it in the 80s before some of the things she talks about weren't even realized yet. So anywho, Octavia Butler, highly recommend. Her first book of the series, those Parable of the Sower, is the one that I read every year. Parable of the Talents is the second book. I have delayed on reading that book because, again, it hits so close to home, it's terrifying. But I must say, I will make a point to finish that book in February. I will read it and I will finish it in February, because I've had it for years and I've kept putting it off. But I think, no, this will be the year, 2025 will be the year that I start and finish that book, starting in February. All right, so again, I hope your reading is going well. I hope your January has not gone off to a rocky start. But if it has, you know, we've got a lot of days left, a lot of weeks left, a lot of months left. So keep reading. I'll talk to you later. Bye.